Good morning, everybody. It's Bite-Sized Conversations with Carly Mowbray Allen, my digital BFF, and I'm Jenny Walk from Elephant in the Room Consulting. We're very excited to have you here again on a Friday morning, back at normal time at 9:15. So how are you today, Kylie?
Great. Good to be here with you, Jenny. It's been a big week for both of us, and I'm excited to get stuck into catching up, chatting about business.
And so why has it been an exciting week for you?
I've had my mama over from New Zealand. So it's the first time in 2.5 years, which is pretty magical. And so we've got a couple of birthdays this week that are family birthdays. So we've been having lots of family get-togethers, and it's just been beautiful. So I'd scheduled half days off work and all of that. So it's been very organized and very exciting. What about you? How's your week been?
Really good week, really busy week. Got some new amazing new clients that we've started working with in the next couple of weeks, which is so exciting. And we're relaunching our the next Ultimate Authority program for June, our next 3-day mastermind. So I'm very excited about that. And I get to see my mum tonight too. So I'm going to visit my mum. It's my sister's 50th birthday, her rewrite birthday, because the flooding last week stopped us. So we're back down this weekend. I'm really excited to spend a couple of days with my family. So it'll be really exciting. Just before Easter.
You just need, don't you? You just need that family time. It's
100%.
We're very blessed, aren't we? Still have our families around.
So blessed. And then it's only a 3-hour trip, so it's like a nice easy trip down this afternoon, and we'll have a couple of days and then come back, and then we get to go and do another trip next weekend for Easter. So yeah, very, very excited.
Oh, that's awesome. So where I'm going to chat about how you express yourself as an expert. And it's a really interesting topic, isn't it? Especially off the back of us chatting last week about imposter syndrome, which is interesting one. I was even chatting about it with my mum about imposter syndrome last night. It's a really interesting topic, that one. So I'm excited to be talking to you about how do you say you're an expert, particularly if you're someone like me that I don't actually like the word expert. So how do you use those ways of posting, ways of sharing about what you do without saying, I'm super awesome, you need to come and learn from me, or you need to buy my product because it is the best, etc. How do you do that without feeling like a dick? What do you think, Jenny? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
I love this question so much. Maybe I'm going to sound like a little bit like one right now. When I first started doing my workshop, someone said to me, why are you doing this? How do you get through here? Hello, Arthur. So good to have you here today. Yay. I started by basically saying I know some stuff and I do some stuff. And so by simply saying I know some stuff and I do some stuff, and we use a different expletive when I said that in the workshop. But basically what I'm saying is I'm really owning the experience that I have. And I think the first thing you need to do to become an expert is to actually believe that you are one. And the reality is we all have such differing backgrounds and differing experiences that we have a right to be an expert in our own life, in our own experience. And that's what we can actually show up as. It doesn't matter about saying I'm not going to be necessarily the world's best life coach or the world's best business coach, or I might be, but I'm the world's best coach of my experience. And I think if we start with that place and actually recognize that we know some stuff, we can do some stuff, and then that allows us to share that with the world from a position of our own strength rather than that comparison piece, because it's not an expert comparison to anyone. We're the only ones who know ourselves as best as we do.
You always make me laugh with your I know some stuff and I can do some stuff, because also whenever you drop that one, it's so funny because you've just blown everyone's minds with, it's like when I was at your retreat and stuff, you were just blowing everyone's minds, blowing our businesses up so that we could put them back together and da-da-da. And then someone asks you something and you're like, yeah, I know some stuff, I do some stuff. Like, you know so much and you're so good at what you do. And it's just such a cute little line. It's very clever, Jenny, very, very clever, and really removes the dickiness of saying, well, I'm just bloody good at what I do, I
need to be empowered with that though, Kylie. I mean, you're bloody good at what you do. there's nothing wrong with us saying that. And that comes, and we talk about self-worth, we talk about doubting ourselves, and we talk about, that self-sabotage that we all go through. That starts with this view of comparison. So if you're good at what you do, full stop, not in comparison to anyone else, not in, not how you were yesterday or what you're likely to be tomorrow, but right in this moment, you do good work, you do great work. And that's a fact. That's not like an opinion. That is like, that happens. And we know that because you've got people showing up and talking about the amazing work and the way that you've transformed their business. So why do we feel so scared about saying, I'm good at what I do? Like, that's the real thing.
That comparison though, isn't it? So I know, so one of the I think first of all, you got to own what you're good at. So I think one of the problems I think a lot of people do is pretend, and they want to be all the things. So I know what I'm really, really good at. And one of those things that I'm really good at is constantly learning, constantly upskilling, because I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to be a dinosaur in the digital age. My industry, your industry, it's transforming constantly. So we can't show up how we did 6 weeks ago, a year ago. Even in 6 weeks, things will have changed again. So by me investing in myself and in my business to constantly upskill, constantly learn, means I can do a better job of constantly then helping my business clients to grow. And of course, for me, the way that I see my own success is the success that my clients are having. That's a really big one. When I get amazing results. So what I've decided in the past maybe few months is I need to put their successes out there more, because that in itself shows that I'm the expert in my area, because I'm getting these results for certain people. Now, one of the issues for me, Jenny, and it's nothing to do around imposter syndrome, it's to do with that comparison piece. So there are businesses out there working where you might have had a client that has just done $1 million this month. So they're putting it out there. And so I might have been like, oh, well, that would seem odd for me to put mine out there that my client just did, got 100 new followers or whatever it is. But no, because everything's relative. And my love is working with small businesses. So my love is not working with businesses that are, big ones, nor corporations or anything like that. So for me, that was the way of getting around it, is like not me putting my hand up. And we've always all got to remember too that people believe what other people say more than they believe what we say about ourselves. So when we're doing social proof, when we're showing reviews that people have written about us, when we're showing the results, that really speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. And I think that's important, about that social proof of having other people speak for us and demonstrate that we're an expert. But I still think it's really important for us to be able to say and show up and say, yeah, I know what I do. This is my wheelhouse. This is what I'm really good at. I've got a great, group of clients that I work with, and we get amazing results. And I think being confident and comfortable to say that actually allows other people and actually empowers other people to say, you know what, I'm actually going to tell other people that, because it's true. I'm actually going to support that. So don't discount the value. I think that we often discount the value of us saying it ourselves, but we need to do it again in our space. I'm not the world's best XYZ if I've never done it before. I'm learning to do that, but I know what I'm good at, right? I think a post I did this week on Instagram talks about features. And I said, well, what's the features of your business? And for me, it's clarity. I know I'm exceptional at getting clarity for people, and I'm okay to say that. I don't feel like a dick when I say it, because I know that's true. And I've seen experience about that. Now, if people want to know how I do that, then they can have a chat to me, right? But I think by the first piece is us being able to say that and be proud of that, and little lower p proud, and be like, this is okay, because that actually allows us to be strong and powerful and own that, because we don't do that enough. And I don't think even you don't do that enough. You're exceptional at what you do, and we need to be able to say that without people going, oh, well, really? Well, no, I am. In this moment, in this time, in this activity, I've done an amazing job. Full stop. Not comparison, not in relation to, not in what I might do, just in this moment, full stop.
And it's all about impact, isn't it? So if you have impacted a client, it doesn't matter if you help them earn $50 more that month or that week, or their first $50, for example. That's extraordinary. That's impacting someone's life. And that at the end of the day, what we're all doing it for, isn't it? Is that we make some change. We want to make some impact. Yeah.
But it's also about what we call success, right? If you're calling yourself, if you're saying, look, I can't say that I'm doing amazing things for my client because other people are doing bigger things for their clients. But as you say, it doesn't actually matter. If we start to say and compare ourselves to somebody else, there's always going to be someone else who does things differently, who's done it for longer, who has different techniques, who might look like they have bigger numbers. But you also don't know what they've done to get those bigger numbers. Like some of the people I know, I've said, and you and I've talked about this in the way they do their businesses. They've said, yes, my business has grown 10x through working with this program. But when you look at the time and effort and you look at the actual systems that have been put in place and you looked at what they've done to enable to get that, if we compare that time effort versus your time effort ratio for what you do to get your clients, you're probably going to be, far outweigh them because you do it in an organic way. You do it in a way that's sustainable. You do it in a way that empowers and teaches your clients to do it. That's success in business. But we do this, we get into this trap, and we've talked about this before, about comparing ourselves to everyone else around us. And you're like, oh, I've only done this many months, this much this month, or I've only done that much this month. Well, you know what? If it's more than last month, you rocking it. Like if it's $10 more a week, if it's $100 more a week, or if it's $1,000 more a week, that's awesome because that shows that you're growing. To your point earlier, we're always growing, and that's the premise, right?
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. So one of the things that I do, and as part of my branding masterclass with my clients, is talk about power words. So there are words that will help you and there are words that will hinder you. And the reason I bring that up is around this: how do you present yourself or your product or whatever it is that is about your business? So if you're always saying it's awesome, it's the best, and you just repeat over and over and over, those words lose their power. But if you try and come up with new words to describe your own awesomeness, etc. So if you, and maybe even a tagline in something is a beautiful thing, as a little reminder in your branding. But I think it's really important to think about what words are you using when you describe what you do or how you help people or what products you're creating, etc., etc. So maybe it's your customer service. Maybe that's the bit that makes you different to what others are doing. So finding ways to share that. So like you said, everybody's benchmark for success is different. So we need to think about those words that we're using to show how we're different to our competitors, or even just how we're different.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important, we love the power words, and I love that because it helps us think differently and wonder about new words we can use. But I think to your point about what success looks like, we also have to remember is what do our clients define as success? Because when we're deciding that we're good at something, or we're standing in our strength of what we've done really well in the past, or what we know we can do, we have to articulate that in a way that our clients understand it. So me saying my business is earning XYZ money will only relate to a very small portion of my clients, because my clients are coming to me because they want clarity, they want structure, they want process, and they want sustainability. For them, they haven't yet even defined what that financial piece looks like when they come to me in most cases. And so if I'm just talking only about financial gain, it's not going to resonate with my clients. So it's about saying, what are you good at in the space that resonates with your clients? And that goes back to your, how do I connect with them, right? How do I actually say, I'm really good at X or Y, and I know that that's going to resonate with you because that's important to you. So I think we also have to remember, when we're using power words, when we're showing up, and you do this so well with your clients, is you're always reminding them that the business is about your client's perception of you, right? The business is not what I want to say about me. It's what I think other people are going to resonate about me. That's the stuff we need to share. And so when you're saying you're an expert, I think that's where you get that kind of a little bit of a dickish behavior, when someone's all about them and not about their clients.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a thing, isn't it? I see it. Maybe that's why I feel like I'm allergic to the word expert, because I see it all over the show where people go, I'm the expert in this, I'm the best at this, da, 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 da. Well, that's you telling me that you are. That's not me hearing why you are, or how is that actually going to help me? Because, yeah, you're dead right. At the end of the day, how is you saying you're an expert going to change the way I operate my business, or change my bottom line, or change how successful I'll be?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think so for you, in terms of that piece about what is it about expert that really kind of irks you? What's the thing about the expert word that really struggles, that you don't like?
I've also got the issue with the Queen word as well. And I had some beautiful colleagues and friends who actually have that as their business name, is the something something Queen, but it's become very, very popular.
Yes.
So I've just, what for me, I'm always about what's your future proofing your business. So if you are the something, how can you then sell your business unless you find another one of those somebodies that believes they're the Queen? So I'm always really conscious of that. But again, when you say I'm the something something expert or I'm the something something Queen, it's like, yeah, I'm definitely I'm it, and I don't think any of us are it. No. I feel like when you say that, if I say I am an expert, then that's saying I'm the absolute best that in ever. Whereas I feel, for me, what's more comfortable is I have expertise in these areas, or I am really rocking it in that. But I am not the expert in anything because I've always got more to learn.
Yeah. But I also think it's funny because I view expert so differently. Expert is a culmination of experience and skill. Like, I did martial arts for 20 years. I taught for that. I competed internationally and nationally, and I won some great, got great results from that. So at that time, I've classed myself as a martial arts expert. So I was previously a martial arts expert. I haven't been in the game for a very long time, so I'm not an expert now. But it's about what you're doing and how it relates to where you are in your space of time. And so expertise, and whether you use expert or expertise, I'm showing up at this business. But I never say I'm the expert at, other than myself. The only person I can be an expert at, the only thing that I can share better than anyone else, are my experiences and my insights and my knowledge, because no one else can share that in the way that I can do that. That's a fact. No one knows me as well as I do, right? And so being able to stand in that piece first and know that you're an expert in yourself, even just saying that to yourself regularly gives you power and gives you confidence to say, well, actually, where are other places that I'm pretty good at? Where are other places that I'm creating impact, like you're talking about? But it does start with us feeling comfortable with who we are. But I'm never going to know everything, ever. But I'm definitely, if someone asks me a question I don't know, I'm always like, give me a moment, and I will Google it. I'll find a book, I'll read it, and I'll come back a week later and be like, so this is what I found. And that's what makes me able to say I know some stuff and do some stuff, because like you, I'm a lifelong learner. Every time there's something that I don't know, I go out and find out the answer. And that just goes into the kit of parts, and then we can say, I know some stuff.
Jenny, what I love about that is that it's humble. It's really humble. And also by sharing your humbleness, it shows us that you really have extraordinary expertise. So what are some words then for that, as we've already ascertained, not everybody feels the way I do about the word expert. So what is there that you could use as a word that means something similar but isn't that word? Because for me, I subscribe to the more humble way of promoting yourself, which is not everybody's gig. Some people are super proud to just get it out there and go, I am this. And we've also talked before about people sharing their money and all of that kind of stuff, whereas there's a lot of people also that feel that money isn't that benchmark money isn't the benchmark for success in all people's business.
I think it's my brain is like, I've got so many different words I want to say right now. So I think the key for this piece is getting rid of comparison first. So you're not saying you're an expert or anything in relation to anyone else. It's about something right now. But I also use words like, I have great experience. I have strong understanding of. I'm able to understand. I use words like understand and knowledge and insight, because you having great insight, expertise and experts have great insight into the information that they know. They don't just know it, but they understand it. They can cut it up and put it back together and recreate the information they have in their heads, like you do with digital marketing, like I do with kind of other random stuff. And so when we bring that together and we say, okay, well, if I can actually unpack and repack, and I can use words like discern or insight or wisdom or knowledge, they're the words that relate to me. Because when I hear someone say that I have insight, or I have a knowledge in, or this is an area that I've cultivated my wisdom in, that tells me that they're bringing in their information and they're not just kind of cookie cuttering the approach. They're actually bringing their expertise to that discussion, as opposed to I'm going to give you the rote answer of the knowledge that I've learned or the information that I've learned because I followed a system. The system said I do A and B and C and D. That's a robot. That's not an expert.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorites that I use is build, the word build. So when I say,
Love.
one of the guys is, hi, I'm Kylie and I build brands. So you're a brand, I'm a brand. I don't mean brand as in you're a product brand necessarily. So it's any brand that you're building. So by building a brand, that for me shows that I am an expert in what I do without using the word expert, because time and time again, over many years, over many hundreds of clients, I have built them to what they are today, and then give them the tools so that they can go out and continue to build on that, that they have learned as we go along.
Love that.
So I like the word build and create and things like so, saying that words like I create the magic, or there you go, there's my light behind me, this is where the magic happens, so the word magic for me is a really important one, not in a woo-woo magical sense. So, again, though, that's the word, isn't it? That we all have different connotations of what that would mean.
I think it's so funny that we have this, maybe over time. I think when I was younger, the term expert seemed just a little bit kind of, had that kind of egoistic and that kind of, well, who's told you the expert? And maybe over the last couple of years, you and I and the work that we've done and what we know and what we've developed have made me more comfortable with, who I am, and I'm showing up as every inch of me right now. And it's like I said last week, 2 weeks ago, I was at a session and someone said to me, what gives you the right to be able to? And I've always interested that what gives me the right to? Well, because I'm me, right? And so I think being able, when someone says, what can you do? What experience do you have? Being able to say, and he said, my throwaway tagline came because it's like, I don't want to explain my 25 years or 30 years or 50 years of experience. I shouldn't have to. What got me here, what led me to this room, what led me to this position today is the culmination of everything. That's my expertise, is life. So it's that the fact that we're able to actually share that openly and honestly, like you do and like I do, and we talk about that, creates a space where you can go, okay, I'm actually okay here. Like, this is where I am. So I think one of those pieces that we have to keep reminding ourselves that it's okay to be really great at something. It's okay to be really, really, really great at something. And if you feel more comfortable, it's okay to be the expert at something, because your lens, your view, and the way you approach that is like no one else.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that also that for me, and clearly it's not the same for everyone, but when you say that you are the absolute top at something, in a way, to me, that's really limiting where you might go after that.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm still always keeping in my sight that I've got more to learn, then that's something that's really important to me. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting one, isn't it? But I completely agree with you that you've got to really own where you're at and own where you've come from. So basically your expertise is your IP. So knowing that you have this life experience, this study, this all that kind of stuff has led you to where you are. But I've had two very interesting conversations in the last couple of weeks with people on complete opposite sides of the fence. So one person said to me, without showing your qualifications, and she's was in her 50s, and her degree, which was nothing related to really how her business had evolved, well, I felt it wasn't, having those qualifications and even a certificate and all of that on her website was absolutely vital. And she goes, no one will take me seriously without those being proven. And I'm like, really? Because for me, what's more interesting is your experience over the past 30 years to have got you to where you are, the people you've worked with, the people you've helped, etc. That's really the relevant bit, not the 4 years you spent and then that title there. And then the other person on there, and so for example, she said to me, so when I go to work with someone or learn from someone, if they haven't sold me in their discovery call on their qualifications, if they haven't even brought them up, then I'm off straight away. I'm like, nah, just no. And I'm like, wow, that's fascinating. because
You wonder what happened to her. At some point, someone said you don't have the right qualification, and she's anchored her whole life to that question. And so now the only way she can prove her worth is through a qualification. So there's a very interesting conversation that I would love to have with her about how to unanchor that for her, because that's what she's done. She's basically connected her whole life to what qualifications that she has, and it discounts all the beautiful things she's done.
Yes, but if you're a doctor, if you're a specialist, if you're an accountant, if you're all those things, the qualification obviously is the most important bit, clearly, because you can't operate in that industry without those qualifications. But in other areas,
their degree, have you ever asked your doctor or your accountant or a lawyer to see their degree?
No, you're just really hoping.
You just you're in the room with them. It says doctor, it says accountant. They've got that on the bottom of their name. It's illegal to say if you're not. Like, I just trust. It's so funny because we do that, and I love that. But I know you had a second person you talked to, but I love that piece with this lady is that she's anchoring herself to qualifications, and she's demanding people share those with her. But I guarantee you, she hasn't asked her doctor, her accountant, her lawyer, anyone else to show you their qualifications. I'm guessing she didn't ask the plumber to show their Cert 4 in plumbing, or the builder to show their building certificate, right? You just know that if it says it, you do it, right? So that's so fascinating.
So the other person was talking about, and I was saying to them how important it is that in that discovery call, you're showing them in a very short amount of time how you could help them. You're not showing them all the ways that you can help them, but you're showing that you can help them with the issue that they've got, et cetera, et cetera. So she was like, wow, that's so great, because that's all I really want to do is help people, and And then I'm like, so what has got you to that point? And she's like, well, I don't have any qualifications. I haven't done any training in it. I just know I'm really good at it. I know this is definitely my area where I could really shine. And so again, I sat there with that one going, oh, that's really interesting. So really different sides of the fence. One's just feeling it and knowing she can. The other one's like really needing to prove it. And so I'm at neither end of those at all. And I thought and so that's important that we talk to about those people that suddenly decide I am a coach or I am a consultant or any of those words that don't come with that degree. How do you prove necessarily that you are, and again, I think it's social proof. Showing 100%. Your experience, showing the impact that you've had on different businesses along the way.
I completely agree, and I think that kind of it goes to speaking to your clients. If you've got a client like your first lady who needs to have qualifications, then maybe she's not the person for you. If you got the person at the other end who's happy to kind of go with the flow and isn't phased either way, then she might be a perfect fit for you. So it's about, but I think it comes back to that first piece that you said right at the very start is your propensity to want to continue to learn. Because you can only continue to be the expert at something if you continue to learn. So you're an expert at a point of time, like I said with my martial arts. I'm no longer a martial arts expert. My partner says that I am sometimes. I'm like, dude, I'm not, because I haven't played in the game for like 10 years. If I was still playing in the game and I was still at the same level that I was, I could potentially say that. Not the best in the world, not the best in the industry, but with my knowledge, I would be considered an expert. But I've stopped. So I can't say that anymore. The only way we can continue to call ourselves an expert, if that's the word that you want to use, or that you are insightful, that you have wisdom, that you build, or that you grow, or that you help, or that you support, is if you continue to do that for yourself. Because unless you keep learning, you'll eventually run out of things to say.
I agree, and I love that you and I both always say we are lifelong learners. And I feel when I've stopped learning, there'll be a bit of a problem.
Yes. There'll be a point when you stop learning, but it won't be one that we like.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to put that out to everybody today as a challenge: is what area in your life, so business, personal, whatever, have you got where you can grow some more and go out and find some people that you think, will find someone that you think is doing an amazing job and that you resonate with and that you are really ready to get the next lot of skills from.
And then you can grow your expertise in that, and then you're able to share that with your clients too.
I also am going to put it out there as a challenge: is what's your word of how you're going to describe yourself? Because as we've discussed, some sit fine with expert, some sit fine with I have expertise.
And some just know some stuff and do some stuff.
That's my favorite by far. Every time. It's so humble and so beautiful, Jenny. Thank you everyone for being with us today. There's been some really interesting comments in the chat, which I've been having a look. Arthur says that's what we do. Trust people are who they say they are. Absolutely. Yeah. It goes back to that know, like, and trust factor. So yeah, maybe we could chat about the know, like, and trust factor next week, Jenny. So
that would be a great idea. Maybe the week after, because next week is Good Friday.
Yes, public holiday. Let's do it the week after.
Yes.
No, like, and trust. All right. So what happens after this live? We turn off the camera, we turn off the recording, and we do some free coaching from Jenny and I to those that are in the Zoom room with us right now. So I'm going to say thanks so much for being here with us. And I'm Kylie Mowbray from Hello Media. You can connect with me at hellomedia.team on website and socials. And Jenny?
I'm Jenny Walk from Elephant in the Room Consulting. You can connect with me on Insta and Facebook at Elephant in the Room Mayu, or you can go to our website. You can get all that from Insta and Facebook. But we'd love to catch up. Be my friend.
Yeah, and you can join us every Friday live for bite-sized conversations, and of course watch the recording later on YouTube or listen as a podcast. So thanks for being here with us, everyone. And for those of you in the Zoom room with us, let's get into some coaching. Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.
See you in 2 weeks, and happy Easter.
Bye, everyone.